You speak English, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's jail?
Ain't fine.
Good. It's not supposed to be fun.
I'm disappointed. I wasn't even supposed to be there.
Let's talk. We'll figure out why. All right. Both of you guys have picked up criminal cases. You've not made bond, and you don't have anyone that's going to make a bond for you. That's why you're in there right now. Your lawyer is asking for me to give you either a PR bond or to lower your bond. And we're going to have a discussion now as to whether that's going to happen or not. I'm a firm believer that everybody should be given at least one chance to see whether they're going to do right or not, right? So hold on. Just don't say anything yet. You'll get your chance, I promise. Mr. Guerrero, let's start with you. So you're charged with...
This is the rawest moment yet. The judge is less like a referee and more like a parent laying down tough love. He's warning Ellis that one wrong step could lock him into decades behind bars. Question for you. Do you think judges should play this mentor role, or should they keep it strictly professional?
Terroristic threat, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 27, 2025, at 8:11 a.m., the officers arrived on the scene for a weapons disturbance at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The officers met with the complainant and a witness outside the residence and later met with the defendant inside the residence. The complainant stated the defendant, the ex-husband, lives with her at the house since last year. The complainant stated the defendant has threatened her numerous times and she was scared of what the defendant would do if she called the police. And on November 3rd, 2024, the defendant texted the complainant, I didn't put I'm fucking you up when you come back, bitch, but never assaulted the complainant. And in the middle of December 2024, the complainant was on the phone talking with a friend when the defendant approached the complainant from behind and tried to take her phone and shouted, asking who she was on the phone with. The defendant failed to get the phone away from the complainant. The complainant ran out of the residence out of fear. Around Christmas 2024 at approximately 7 to 8 p.m., the complainant and the defendant were arguing about the complainant's boyfriend having a key to her vehicle. The complainant and the defendant went to go get the keys and the defendant stated, I'm going to kill him. The complainant was in fear and the complainant's boyfriend did not want police called. On January 26, 2025, the defendant came out of his room and the complainant's jacket on the chair where the defendant's cane normally rests, and the defendant saw his cane laying on the floor, and the defendant accused the complainant of placing it there. The defendant followed the complainant into the kitchen and was close to her face. The defendant told her, you know I could hit you with this cane. I can hit you with this. Next time I will hit you.
A terror threat charge might not sound like much compared to big felonies, but don't underestimate it. Up to a year in jail and thousands in fines. What do you think? Should courts be this strict on threats? Even if no physical violence happened? Drop your thoughts below.
The defendant was waving the cane in her face as he said this, and the complainant was in fear of what the defendant may do to her. The defendant calmed down, so the complainant did not call the police. The complainant called the police the next morning because she wanted him out of the house. The witness, the son, corroborated the complainant's telling of events and stated the defendant said to the complainant, I could hit you if I want to, and was close to the complainant in the hallway and was waving the cane in the complainant's face.
Guerrero, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. The magistrate here did not give you a PR bond. If I give you a PR bond, I want assurances that you're not going to have contact with the complaining witness in this case. You're not going to have...
She's gonna take me somewhere else.
That's it. 95% of the people that are in jail now, because they have no self-control, they get upset and they wig out and do whatever they, without thinking, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? Would you like me to give you a PR bond?
Yes, sir.
I don't want you to have contact with the complaining witness in the case, sir. I don't want you to have any weapons, and I want you to have self-control. I've given you a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with her. I'm giving you a chance now.
Yes.
Don't pick up any new cases and don't disappoint us.
No, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
And then, do you mind filing those conditions that he's not to have contact with this person?
No weapons, Your Honor, as well.
No weapons, no contact. I am also entering in what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This is a court order that identifies Ms. Cortez as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
If you have kids and they live with her, then use someone else. Don't call, don't go over there, because you now know no one's going to bond you out. So if you end up going back to jail, you'll be stuck like Chuck.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, man, I'm giving you a chance.
Okay.
Okay. So please, if you can still file those conditions, no contact, no weapons. Now, Mr. Ellis, your case is quite a bit more complicated. You were charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You were facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Yes, Judge. On January 29th, 2025, at approximately 3:29 p.m., the officer dispatched to a weapons disturbance call at 5900 Long Drive in Harris County, Texas. The officers were given a description of the defendant and that he was dancing, waving a gun. The officer arrived at the location and saw the defendant matching the description at a bus stop. The officers observed the handgun sticking out of the defendant's front right pocket, and the officers told the defendant to put his hands up, and the defendant continuously refused orders from the officers to let go of the firearm. The officers used force and pulled the defendant's arms away, and the defendant continued to grip the firearm, attempting to pull it out of his pocket. The officer was hit by the defendant while pulling away, and the officer was thrown into a metal and glass wall at a bus stop. The officer sustained minor abrasions to his right arm, and the officer struggled with the defendant for approximately 6 minutes until detaining him. The officer spoke with a witness who stated she was walking to work and heard and saw the defendant dancing and rapping while waving around a firearm multiple times.
Mr. Ellis, let me read something to you. This is why the magistrate did not give you a PR bond in this case. Defendant on a 3-year deferred for a state jail felony since 3/21/24 allegedly stole CBD disposables. In this case, the witness called to report a man dancing around and waving a firearm in the air at the 5900 Long Drive in Houston, Texas. Law enforcement officers arrived, saw defendant matching the description as sitting at a bus stop, saw butt of gun sticking out of his pocket. Law enforcement officers told defendant to put his hands up. Defendant instead reached for his gun. Do you know how many people die from that very thing right there? Watch the news every single day in America. A young person dies just because of that very thing right there. Law enforcement officers struggled with the defendant as he continued to reach for the firearm, finally got him cuffed after approximately 6 minutes, then recovered a loaded .45 pistol from his pocket. One law enforcement officer injured during the struggle, pushed against the wall of the bus stop, sustained minor abrasions. Could have been another assault of a peace officer, which is a 3rd-degree felony, 2 to 10 in the penitentiary right there. Witness identified defendant as a person she saw dancing, rapping, pulling out a black pistol from his pants and waving it around multiple times, not obeying NFC of the deferred, the conditions of the deferred. Public safety concerns, indigent per AFC. This is the reason why you were not given a PR bond in this case. And quite frankly, Mr. Ellis, it scares me that if we let you out, what's going to happen? Sometimes we have to protect people from themselves because of their own worst enemy. Counsel, what would you like?
I would like to get his bond lowered. He is staying with his mother. His mother will be able to, keep an eye out on him and make sure that he does abide by the conditions that was previously set. I will give her a call today. He's looking for work and he has a child on the way. We're just asking for a lower bond.
What do you do with yourself these days, Mr. Ellis?
I'm just looking for a job so I could take care of my family because right now I'm with a whole 36-year-old and I'm 20 years old and I'm taking care of her kids, her and myself. And I'm staying with my mom and I'm in and out with my baby. So it's a whole lot of stuff going on. And then even dealing with that third-degree
Let's
felony
not,
charge.
I don't want to talk about the cases. My concern is that, Mr. Ellis, you're a baby yourself and now you got a kid on the way. How many kids you got?
To be my first, because I lost my first son at the age of 15, stillborn.
You were 15 when you had your first kid?
I will make contact with his mother, Your Honor, before I leave today. She's present in his life. Yeah.
What's going on with the deferred upstairs? Have they done anything? Have they filed a motion to revoke?
Let me see. It does not appear that at this time they filed a motion.
What do you guys think as far as a bond reduction? State.
Your Honor, based on the fact of the nature of him being a threat to the community and to the officer themselves, which are considered under 1750, and we request 5,000 would be.
I'm requesting 2,500, Judge. He's out of work and the person that would make bond for him would be his mother. And
How long has he been on probation? He's been on probation for a year. Let me see how well he's done.
Notice what the judge just did, he ruled. There's enough evidence for probable cause, meaning this case is officially moving forward. Here's the kicker. A PR bond is basically freedom with a promise to behave. But the judge isn't convinced yet. Would you trust someone with this history to walk free until trial?
He's already had one BVR. You know, when you're on felony probation, you're supposed to live like you have a halo above your head because you're really looking at a lot of time in prison. And the way things are going now, this is not a good way to go. You're going to end up either dead, in prison. It's hard enough in this society as a black or brown person. All you're doing is making it more difficult. The older you get, the more difficult life gets. And if you don't have a skill, a trade, knowledge, you're going to end up with a 40-year sentence or in a gutter, begging, because life sucks without money. And what you're doing now, all you're doing is you're making life even just the more difficult as it is. The more convictions you get, the more unemployable you get. If you don't believe me, when you go back there in the pods, ask. All the old timers that are in there, ask. You're 20. Don't squander your opportunity. I'll give you a bond reduction. I'll set it to 10,000 now.
okay.
I'd like to have contact with mom. So
Okay.
somehow if you can like arrange so we can figure out how we can get through to Mr. Ellis.
Yes.
So what we can do to, I'm not opposed to a PR bond,
Okay.
but I want to know that somehow we have some kind of structure in place so that we know.
Okay, Judge. I will call her today. How would you like me to get back in contact?
I'm assuming he might go to felony court Monday. We can roll it to Monday
Okay.
and then just stay in the loop with me and then
Will do.
we'll structure things so that we can try to get him on the up and up.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
I'm not going to let you die here. I'm not going to let you squander this opportunity. I will stay on top of this until we get you going well, because the way that you're going now, it sucks. It's not good. You're not to use any weed. You're not to use any alcohol. And I'm going to stay on top to make sure. I'm giving you a curfew. I'm going to do all these conditions to make sure you're not going to end up another statistic. Do you understand? So we're going to roll your case to Monday because I want to see if we can get your mom involved in this, see where we can go. Okay? All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks.
The pure bond.
No, yeah, PR bond on Guerrero and then 10G on